All right, hello and welcome. I am so happy that you all were able to be here today. This is a question and answer session devoted to answering questions about your portfolio and self-assessment. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have about your research paper since that that deadline is coming up quickly. So before I get to taking your questions, I want to clear up some points of confusion about the self-assessment essay. So what I'm looking for in this self-assessment essay, not this, not that. What I'm looking for in this self-assessment essay is for you to address each of these course learning outcomes and discuss how well you were able to achieve each of these course learning outcomes. That means I'm looking for you to make a claim about how well you achieved the course learning outcome and then offer evidence from your own writing to support that claim. So like, for example, if you said, I was effectively able to engage in the collaborative and social aspect of the writing processes. You could say, here's an example of some feedback that I gave to a peer on peer review. If you want to say that you effectively practice the systemic application of citation conventions, you could just cite an instance in your writing in which you correctly used a citation. So I'm looking for a claim and an example. And then I've had some discussion with students about the formatting of this self-assessment. My recommendation is that there's no word requirement on this self-assessment. I found that most successful self-assessments tend to be between 500 and 750 words, but that's just an approximation. I don't want you to feel as if you need to develop an entire paragraph about each course learning outcome. I've had students who have done effective self-assessments without splitting it into paragraphs at all, and that's worked well. I've also had students who addressed each of these course learning outcomes as bullet points, and I find that effective as well, and that's acceptable if you prefer to do it that way. Yeah, any questions so far? Michelle.
I'm wondering for the self-assessment, if we can sort of have, when you mean bullet points, does that mean like having the subheading as the learning outcome and then writing a paragraph about how we were able to accomplish that?
Yeah, a bullet point could be the course learning outcome, and then you don't even need to have a full paragraph. It could just be a couple of sentences about that course learning outcome.
And is the self-assessment, is that part of the final portfolio assignment?
Yes. So your self-assessment is going to be the home page for your final portfolio, and you're just going to submit it alongside with your final portfolio. So the only time you're going to be submitting the self-assessment is when you submit your final portfolio. There's no separate submission for the self-assessment. Leslie.
So when are the portfolio and self-assessment due?
So you can find the due dates for those on the syllabus. Let me pull that up. I haven't changed the due dates for the portfolio and self-assessment. Portfolio and self-assessment are due next Thursday, December 16th.
Thank you.
Other questions about portfolios? Any questions about getting an academic commons site set up? Esther.
I have a question. Is it okay if you provide an example of a student from last year, how they did their site, if possible, please?
So I can't provide examples of whole portfolios because that would be a violation of student privacy, but I can show you an example of a portfolio that I created that is similar in format to what I'm looking for from you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see if I have done that. No, I have not yet provided that for you, so I will post that for you by the end of the day. Leslie.
So for the portfolio, do we only submit the work we've talked about in the self-assessment, or do we submit other things? For example, okay, sorry.
So the requirements for the portfolio are that you submit your major assignments and your self-assessments. You're going to have your self-assessment, source-based essay, composition in 2 genres, and then your research paper. Those are the only things that are required. If you would like to include any of your discussion posts or anything that you discuss in your self-assessment, that's great, but it's not a requirement for you to include anything more than the major assignments.
Thank you.
Actually, I can show you my site right now, give you an idea of what I'm looking for. I left my 90-Day Fiance tab open. I am obsessed with 90-Day Fiance. Okay, my sites. So this is a portfolio that I made for a course that I was in. And this is how I imagine that you're going to set up your portfolio. Here's my homepage. And this is my professor called it a theory of writing, but it's really my self-assessment essay. And it's the homepage, and it's probably longer than your self-assessment is going to be. And then I have other pages for assignments. So you can see that I chose to include a draft as well as my assignment. That's optional. You're welcome to do that if you feel like it adds to your portfolio. If you click here, comes up with my assignment that I wrote. And then if you click on the tab, well, theoretically, there would be a draft of the assignment. So I imagine you'll have it set up so that your homepage is your self-assessment, and then you'll have pages like this for each of your major assignments. Is that helpful? Other questions about the portfolio self-assessment? I'm also happy to answer any questions about the research paper if you have any. Nobody has questions about the research paper? Everyone is good to go? Leslie.
Yeah, so for the word count, because I mean, I used more sources than like I think it was the 3 scholarly sources and the 2 media things. So for those, Like, is that included? Like, is a citation included into the word count?
No, the works cited doesn't count towards your word count.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? All right. Well, I hope that your revisions go well. If you would like to meet with me one-on-one to discuss your portfolio, I am more than happy to do that next week. Shoot me an email and we can get that set up. If you have any questions that come up when you're revising your research paper, I will do my best to answer emails over the weekend. I'm not always super available over the weekend, but I will definitely get answers to you on Monday morning. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and we're all gonna finish off this semester strong. We are so close.